Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. My name is Marcus Oler. Thank you for joining us this morning at the Insurance Agency Marketing Services webinar this morning on Retirement Analyzer, the needs-based retirement income planning software our top advisors use when helping their clients plan for their financial future. We do have the privilege of having Brooke and Steve on with us this morning, the administrators and owners of the software. They're going to be walking through several different aspects of the software this morning. The nice thing about them is they are producers just like you. They do sit on the same side of the table, so they bring that knowledge when creating and adding to the software package so that they can enhance that package moving forward. So it's more user friendly. And if there's anything or any feedback that you have or questions as we go through the webinar this morning, as we will be covering a lot of different information, please add it to the question box below, and we'll try to add that as we go through. I know that as you have clients come in the office or if you're pulled away for a phone call, this webinar this morning will be covered and recorded. So if you do need a copy of the webinar, please let me know, and I will certainly get a copy out to you after it is completed. Let's go ahead and get started this morning. We do have a lot of information to cover. Again, if you do have a question, please go ahead and put it in the question box below, and we will certainly try to cover that as we continue through this morning. Again, thank you for joining us this morning. Again, my name is Marcus. If you have any questions, I can certainly cover those with you after. If you have a particular case you'd like to discuss or talk about, we can certainly talk about that at that point in time as well. Again, insurance agency marketing has been in business for over 30 years. We do have the Insurance Agency Marketing Business Builders to increase your capital. We have several ways to do that through our referral producer program or our marketing reimbursement program. If you refer somebody to insurance agency marketing, let's say you refer $3 million producers, we do pay back to you 20 basis points as a continue to write business. That's $6,000 into your marketing reimbursement program. I have advisors that take that money and apply that towards their marketing budget for the following year. We also have a marketing reimbursement. We pay $100 into your marketing reimbursement for either fixed index business or single premium life business going forward for each and every $100,000 total premium cases that you write going forward. Again, you can use that for any type of marketing reimbursement, as we do understand how expensive it is for you to do business on an ongoing basis. We do have the new producer business building program. This is a way for us to say thank you and welcome aboard to insurance agency marketing. There are 3 different levels that is available to you for the first 6 months or 180 days. There are 3 separate levels: 100,000, 300, and 500,000. Once you choose an item, this program does shut off. You can choose anything from $750 in a cash bonus all the way to a Ritz-Carlton travel package, or 4,000 or 5,000 piece mailing and seminar coaching with one of our top 2 producers, Matt Geller, Dave Pimper, to help keep your pipeline full. We do have some of the best back office support available within the industry. Basically saves you time and money so you can do what you do best, which is remain in front of prospects and clients alike, helping them plan for their financial future with some of the solutions that you have at your fingertips. We can help you with sales and expertise and coaching. We can put together quotes for you for any upcoming appointments. We do have paperless contractings and much, much more. We do have a creative marketing solutions team. Jacob and Sean are here to help you no matter where you are in your business. We have turnkey agency and digital solutions. Whether you're just getting into the business and you're looking for a business logo, handouts, flyers, envelopes, newsletters, or postcards, or if you've been in the business 20 years and you're looking to enhance your marketing strategies through advertising like um, commercials, TV, um, and digital marketing strategies or social media concepts, they can help you at that point in time as well. Please feel free to give the office a call. Ask to speak to Jacob directly. You can reach him at 800-255-5055, and he can answer any questions for you with regards to the Creative Marketing Solutions team. We do have the IAMS website available to you. It's there to assist you 24/7 outside of normal business office hours. We do have and have added an additional piece to the website. Once you log into our website, we have added a marketing corner, which is in the upper right-hand corner of the website. It does have agent sales ideas, client sales ideas as we get into the holiday season. It is a tremendous addition to the website. I would invite you all to go out and take a look at it. But besides that, we do have industry links, forms online if you need access to forms, and life and annuity rates and quotes online as you need them. We do have insurance agency marketing wealth management, an additional add to the IAMS family. This is put together by Mike Hansen and Charles Herring Jr. It helps you increase your revenue and improve your client retention and strengthen client relationships. If you're considering getting your Series 65 or looking at the RIA, please give them a call directly. They'll be able to help you and answer any questions with regards to that line of business. We do have our industry recognized Life and Annuity Academy. It is a 2-day producer training. We do pay for airfare, hotel, the training, and all your expenses while you're here. Our first training is going to be the first quarter of 2020. We typically align with one of the major carriers within the industry. We are going to be bringing in 4 of our top multi-million-dollar producers. They're going to be sharing not only what they do to keep their pipelines full, but their entire sales strategy, their turnkey seminar systems. We're going to be talking about large life case marketing. What are the income best writers in the industry right now? Wealth transfer tools. We're going to be talking about retirement analyzer, sales software tools as well. There's really not any topic that is going to be untouched at that point in time, and you're going to have one-on-one time with these top producers so that you don't make the same mistakes they did along the way, and it really gives you the opportunity to leapfrog your career at that point in time. Again, give us a call for dates and times in 2020. We typically hold 3 to 4 of these a year. And again, all expenses are paid by Insurance Agency Marketing and the co-sponsor of the event. We are going to be holding the Montage event, which is an event co-sponsored from Athene and Insurance Agency Marketing. It is going to be held August 26th through the 29th in 2020. What we're looking for is a total of $3 million in Athene business between July 1st, 2019 and June 30th of 2020 to qualify for this event. If you have questions on this specific event, please feel free to give our office a call. Our Producers Escape 2021, our top producers trip, qualification for that is running from July 1 of 2019 through December 31st of 2020. The location for that is going to be coming soon. Rumors right now is it's going to be somewhere down in a warm climate, I believe in Mexico, but we should have that location announced probably in the next 7 to 10 days. What I'm going to do at this point in time is I'm going to turn it over to Brooke and Steve so we can get into the meat of the webinar today and start talking about Retirement Analyzer, which is obviously why we're all here today. I certainly do appreciate everyone joining us. Again, Retirement Analyzer is a great tool to add to your practice and help your clients forecast their retirement income needs. So go ahead, Brooke and Steve. I do appreciate you guys joining us this morning.
Thanks, Marcus. Thanks, guys, for being here today. We'll spend probably the next 25, 30 minutes on the Retirement Analyzer. If you're new to it, okay, it's really an income planning tool that it really kind of takes tech, okay, and it actually does the job for you so you can be yourself out there. Okay, so basically we'll crunch the numbers. We'll take care of the taxation. We'll take care of, putting numbers together to show a projection or what it looks like with a product, added to the mix and things like that. So we do our job tech-wise, okay? And this software, I want you to imagine when we go through this that, how much time is it going to save you if you employ this solution, this Retirement Analyzer software, okay? Just right up front, I'll tell you, and Brooke's going to talk a little bit about our support and stuff, but it probably takes you maybe 5 or 6 times through the software to start to feel comfortable with it. All right, we write it very, in very simple fashion, and we'll show you when we get in there. We hide a lot of the functionality under buttons. Okay, so it has a real simple feel, real simple look to it. And again, you go through it 4 or 5 or 6 times, you start to understand how the software program works. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about our solutions that are coming before the end of the year. And maybe we'll take you through a couple of case studies and show you how we build actually it's process. It's not really product. How you go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, where you basically, solve a client's financial problems by making suggestions for changes in behavior and then add a product to enhance. So that's what we'll do over the next 30 minutes or so. I want to turn it over to my partner, Brooke, and I think she's going to talk a little bit about support.
Absolutely. And as Steve said, thank you guys for being here. One thing I do want to say, and I know Marcus touched on this earlier, Steve and I are producers. So all of these models that we're designing for you, we're thinking about how is this going to present to a client? And I think it gives the program a really different feel. The other thing we don't do is drive you to any one specific concept or one specific product. It's totally product neutral, it's age neutral, it's net worth neutral. We're going to point out potential pitfalls and problems in a client's plan, and then you can put in the solution based on what you think is best. Okay. Now, as Steve said, we have a lot of different training and support platforms available to you guys. This is actually complimentary and part of your package that you'll get through IAMS. What I would suggest, if you're not using the software right now, we have a trial. We reach out to Marcus and IAMS. They can get you set up on the trial and get you started. Attend the training. I think the worst thing with software is we're changing what you're doing. And so it's a process, and you have to learn new techniques, okay? We recognize that. We recognize it's really hard to open a program and know where to even start. So Monday through Thursday, we have a live training from 10 to 11 a.m. Central. We call it Power Hour. That's basic training. You guys can bring your questions. You bring your files. We get through as many as we can in that hour block of time. Now, Fridays, we call it Success in 60. And Steve and I teach that course. It's a little bit more detailed. We'll talk about, all sorts of tax strategies, RMDs, just a deep dive into concepts, all based around the software again. Again, that's at 10 to 11 a.m. Central. Every month, we have sector sessions. We'll do a deep dive into a specific area of the software. It's typically a 45-minute presentation. Those are all recorded. We actually had one yesterday. You can find them right in the software. We have Admin University. Okay, so we've finished those for 2019, but in 2020, we'll be holding one in March and then another one in September. We have virtual track training. So this is a month-long boot camp. It is live, and you can see we go January, April, July, and October. And then we actually have live boot camp, in-person training as well, and you can see the 4 locations there. Now, some of these are part of the package. The first 3 there are all part of your IAMS package. The others, there's a charge of $299. The cool thing, though, if you attend one of our live boot camps, say you go to Phoenix, you're going to pay a fee of $299. That gets you access to all of the virtual training free of charge. We want you guys to stay up with what we're doing. We do change the software. We're constantly creating new models, etc. So we, again, want to keep you up on what's happening. Also, Phoenix is already over halfway full. So if you want into that location, we're only taking 30 people. Get in while you can, folks. All right. That sums up the training and support. Outside of these sessions you're looking at here, we have a live power line from 8 to 5 Central that you guys can call in for all help too. Anything else with that, Steve?
Yeah, Brooke, talk a little bit about the branding and the advisor video and stuff like that, okay? And then we'll just jump into some of the stuff we're going to do, if you don't mind, the branding.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different stuff, guys. So right now, we have what's called branding or white labeling of the software. So if you guys are the advisor that's using the software live in front of clients, and right now it's showing Retirement Analyzer, we had a lot of requests to make that customizable. So we did just that. You can pay either $15 a month or a one-time fee of $349, and that's going to make every header, every logo, phone number, everything in the software specific to your company. So there's that. Now, that branding also flows through to the client portal that's going to be released in December of this year. We're in heavy development on that right now. That's going to be literally a vault sort of space that the client can log into. You're totally going to be able to customize this vault, whether you want to put retirement account statements in there or whether you want to put a copy of their Retirement Analyzer scenario in there. You can put whatever you want in that space, and it will again be branded specific to your company if you choose to do that. Steve, anything I left out on that one?
Well, let's just take it a step further, though. So this client portal, okay, you're going to be able to jump in and out of it. You'll be able to know when they're in it. I want you to imagine this, right? If you really take it the next step, right, and have the client be part of their process. A lot of times, right, the advisor goes in and they do everything, right? Client listens, they say yes, they say no, and that's that, right? What if we wanted to educate the client to a point where they're locked in with you, you know, for the rest of their life? And then maybe we can actually keep them when they pass, and then we actually move assets down to the next generation. Well, you shouldn't be worried too much about them knowing too much, right? Because there's so many moving parts that we have in financial planning, they need you. They're not going to go somewhere else if you teach them too much. That's old school. So, but why don't we make them part of the process? So what if you could share in the client portal? I'll give you a couple more ideas. You put their net worth statement in there. You put their beneficiary statement in there. You go in there and you can put their 12-month cash flow statement in there. In other words, before you see them the next, for their next annual review, where do they take the money from to spend? What is the plan saying? Where do I pull the money from? Which account? They have a roadmap, okay? They go in there, there's a calendar, okay? Happy birthday so-and-so, happy anniversary. Hey, it's November now, we gotta make sure we take our RMDs. This is the kind of stuff that we're going to pop into this client portal, and you're going to love it. But it's going to help you get closer to the client and help the client take part in their plan. That's what's different, a little different about what we're trying to do here. Now, there are client portals out there. There's vaults out there, like Brooke was talking about. That's great, right? But we want to take it to the next level. We're going to keep it simple, 6th grade level, and the clients are going to understand it. And you might find them going into their portal every day. Okay, that's the way we're going to build it. We're going to build it just like the software. So that's basically what you're going to get before the end of the year. There's some other things too, but let's jump through the software. Brooke, why don't we just go through just a quick case study? I don't think we have to solve it or anything, but we can show the process and stuff like that on the reports and print section. You want to just go through the first few tabs, and then we'll show reports and print? Is that okay?
Yeah, and just a quick note. So we have 2 versions of the software. We have a Pro version, which is for life insurance only advisors. We also have a Pro Plus version that we do have a FINRA letter on. So for those of you, that have broker dealers and things like that, not an issue, knock on wood, but we haven't had any trouble there. Now, what we're going to be demoing today is the Pro Plus version, and you'll see with that we have 9 tabs. The primary difference between the 2 programs is just tab 9. That market stuff they don't want life-only advisors to talk about. So we have 3 input tabs, we have 3 output tabs, and 3 solutions tabs. Okay, I don't want to go into any detail, but know that just quickly on tab 1, you're going to input employment income, you're going to account for Social Security benefits, pension benefits, it's all there. Now, if you have clients that are doing or we're able to take advantage of file and suspend or those more advanced Social Security strategies, know that we can handle all of that right within the program. Okay, let's jump to tab 2. Now on tab 2, this is where you're going to build in retirement assets. You can see here we have just straight retirement assets. So, managed money, equity indexed annuities that are being used for growth, mutual funds, you can build it all in here. We also have an additional assets section. So home values, things of that nature you can account for right in this area. And then we have a SPIA and an income benefit annuity section. Okay, so the program can handle all types of assets. Down below, we have a risk section where we're going to compare, look, Mr. and Mrs. Client, here's where you are today, and based on how you answered these risk questions, here's where you really need to be in that right-hand pie chart. Okay, so that's going to present some potential problems. You can, again, provide product to fix it. Now, right-hand side, we have rates of return. We also have how much does the client always want on reserve. Make a mental note, 40 grand in this example. Okay, let's jump to 3 quickly.
Brooke, let me just interrupt just for 1 second. But guys, I just wanted to say this too, okay? Because we're trying to go through this relatively quickly so we can show you the solve. But from a tax standpoint, okay, we're gonna actually be able to do all the taxes under the hood for you. We have all the tax structure in the software. All you have to do is pick what the asset is tax-wise, okay? And then what we do is when we withdraw from these funds in retirement, we know how to tax them. We know how to R&D them. Okay, you got a couple of traditional IRAs here. We'll put one against the other one and take one withdrawal from, say, the Athene account to cover Charles Schwab. We do all that for you. Okay, there's buttons right down here that you can click. But again, just like we said in the beginning, a very, very simple feel on the outside, right? We live in a world where everybody has the attention span of a gnat. And if you get too confusing on a piece of software, they shut down. So you can't, I think, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead. Just
quickly, Steve, to your point, I think Steve touched on something there. A lot of programs maybe that you guys have reviewed, you're going to input 12%, or you're going to type in the percentage, and it's going to tax everything at whatever percentage you type in. That is not the way we do things here at Retirement Analyzer at all. We will literally look at where is the money being withdrawn from. Is it coming from a checking account? Is it coming from a 401k? Is it coming from a non-qualified account that has basis? So when you're looking at the tax component, that is very detailed. We keep it simple on the outside, but under the hood, we are crunching big-time numbers for you. Sorry, Steve. Anything else there?
No, that's okay. What we could do is we can jump to 5 and 6, and we can show them one of the below opens. But let's go to expenses. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Nope, perfect. Okay, so on 3, this is where we're going to tackle expenses. Now, if you want to use a clumped number, you can, but check out this expense plan. This thing is, in my mind, it's amazing. You guys just quickly know that you can totally customize your budgets. You can make them specific to the way you like to do things. You can build in expenses, inflation rates per expense, start and stop date per expense. It's, again, totally flexible and just amazing in my mind. That budget is a differentiator. I can tell you what, clients missing their expenses by $300, $400, $500 a month, it's a game changer when you're trying to project out over long periods of time. It's amazing what a difference that makes. Okay, let's close that up and we'll keep going. Now you'll see a liabilities section down here. You can build in, again, any liabilities they have. And then we have a future cash flow section where you can account for, Roth conversions, rental properties, overfunded life policies. It's just lots of different stuff there too. Okay, your data entry at this point is done. Let's jump to 6, and I want to give you just a quick snapshot of what this looks like when we bring it all together. And tab 6, I always say, it's where the rubber meets the road. You can see all of those inflows of cash. We can see the outflows. We can see what the retirement funds are doing. All the information is here. Now, I mentioned back on tab 2, the client never wanted to drop below 40,000 in this example. And you can see right here in 45, they do, unfortunately, go below. So that yellow line is caution. And then the red line is where those retirement funds are completely eliminated. Now, note, the red line does not mean they have absolutely no money. They've still got their pension and their Social Security coming in, but that money is not enough for them to maintain their lifestyle. So you can see they're short over $2,700 a month because they have no retirement funds to pull from. Okay, so again, we're going to show them this red line. We're going to go back, and Steve will show you quickly here how you can set up the sales process to basically alleviate the red line and then enhance.
Okay, but let's just talk about what this is, though, and how it works, though. Basically, here's what you're going to have control of, though. Okay, you really have control of the plan once you have all the information entered, and you can actually put your mouse over. Watch this now. If I want to know what makes up the $1,050, the $1,050,452, I just put my mouse over it. okay? And you could show the funds being drawn down. Look at the Gabelli funds going down as the years go by, and all of a sudden it's going to get exhausted, right, and disappear. I mean, you have it right here at your fingertips, and you can show these people running out of money at age 85. Now, again, not just like Brooke said, right? There's still money coming in, but if you want to have that conversation about cutting your monthly expenses by almost $2,800 at age 85, go ahead. I don't think it's going to be a real good conversation. It's not a real good plan. So the whole goal here really is to alleviate the red line. I don't know how you guys feel about sales, but I can't stand sales. I'll just tell you right now, right up front, I can't stand sales. What we like to do is we like to educate people so they can make decisions, and we use products, right, that we pick and that we recommend and they're okay with to get us to outcomes. That's what we want. Okay, we're going to use a product to get us to an outcome. Let me tell you what I'm talking about here. Let's go to reports and print right here. Okay, now basically this is what we just saw in the software. They are out of money at age 85, right? They went through the 40,000 like Brooke was telling you about. Now, so what do we do to make it better, okay? What we do in step number 2 is we actually copy this down to here, and we make these 3 changes right here. All right, so what we did was we pushed retirement back 3 years, 26 instead of 23. We started Social Security 5 years later for both. You don't have to, just some recommendations. And we contributed $7,000 to Roth IRAs while they were working. And we know that they can do that because we did such a nice job when we did the monthly expense plan. Now, using Retirement Analyzer, you can tell us if you think this is simple enough. This is what they look like when you originally sat down with them. This is what they look like after they employ these 3 recommendations. They could be any 3 recommendations. But the point is, we're 15 years later, and we have almost $250,000 and no financial problem here. And what are you doing here? What are you doing here, right? We didn't even talk about a product, right? Again, product's going to get you to the outcome, okay? But do we need a product to get to this outcome? No, not yet. We're going to use a product to better 240, 297, okay? And if the product doesn't better 240, 297, we don't sell the product. That's how it works, okay? So this is really getting paid for your advice, right? DOL fiduciary rule, right? We're actually making recommendations. Advisors get paid for their advice. We've done this way all the time. Brooke and I aren't worried about that rule. We always have our clients' best interest at heart. And so once we do this, then we come down here and we add a product. We're moving $200,000 from one of our mutual funds to an income benefit annuity. We defer for 10 years. And this is where you call IMES and get the product and pop in here, right, what the monthly payment is if we turn on income 10 years from now. $524. Now, this is a good reason to sell that product. And that product gets us to the $500,000 plus outcome. It's really that simple. Okay, if the product doesn't make it better, then the product's not good or suitable, or, you know, it's probably not the right product for that client. I don't think it's black and white here, right? Okay, now again, in this, I can tell you didn't see the illustration. They are real numbers, though, and we actually wrote this right here. This is really the guaranteed number. Now, you want to make it a little bit higher, you can. This number is going to be higher, right? If the 1697 is higher, you run the risk of disappointing somebody. So why don't we keep this all conservative and say, look, you know what? This is what you look like today. Can you handle this? Can you work 3 more years? How about we push your Social Security back to 70 if you have longevity in your family? And because we did your monthly expense plan, you guys have an extra $1,000. It's about $583 a month each. $1,100, $1,200 left in your monthly expense plan every month. Why don't we just start Roths just while you're working? If you can do that, you look like this. And then if we add a product, you look like this. There's your financial plan right there. That's it. Okay? Now, let's just jump in here and we'll talk taxation. I just want to show you a little bit about what goes on under the hood. Okay, so if we go into pre-retirement, all right, now this is what it looks like. It's really kind of simple before they retire. I go into 2020, I look at this, right? It's going to give you the salary every month, the contributions every month, the monthly cash flows. In this case, we have rental income coming in every month. The net monthly income, the expenses, the difference. you could see, remember the 583s I told you about, right? It's the Roth, the 583, you see the top one and the third one. If you multiply that times 12, you get $7,000 each. They can do that. They're over the age of 50, so they're contributing to their Roths, and they still have money left. That's good. But look what the program does tax-wise for you. Every year, you see the total taxes owed. If you put your mouse over this, right, it's showing you how much you're scheduled to pay in federal tax, state, the FICAs, Social Security, and Medicare right there. So you can have that conversation. So what happens here now? Accountants become your friend because you're paying attention to this. And just like Brooke said, it's not just everything at a 12% rate, right? You want to get detailed? We'll get detailed for 2 seconds. It's not everything at a 12% rate, all right? If I go to 2020 and I look at this, you're going to see some at 10, some at 12, some at 22, okay? And it's going to give you the bracket and the rate, okay? It's going to give you the bracket and the rate. So you see it right here? We're in the 22% bracket, but we paid, the effective rate is 13.54 right here. Any year you want, you can look at this. Now, again, I'm not telling you to go in here and show clients this. If they want to see it, they're engineer types, go ahead. It's no problem. Okay? But these will change, right, when you change the year. You have it all. One other thing I want to call your attention to. You want to talk about taxation? We all do. It shows you your client's tax liability for their lifetime, federal and statewide. So let me throw an idea at you. What if you do a Roth and take 634 down to 434? You save them a couple of $100,000 in tax liability if you do a Roth conversion. There's all kinds of things you can do with this software, and everything. If you know, see, what you spend your time doing here when you learn the program is to feel comfortable with it, and then to learn what the buttons are and which ones you should push when you need to push them. That's really it. Okay, we're here to help you with that, like Brooke said, with the training. We answer the phone. You don't have to schedule any appointments with us. Call in. Sometimes we'll get back to you on Saturdays and Sundays. I was on the phone until 8:30 last night with somebody from Missouri. Okay, 8:30. I mean, you need help, we'll get you help. We know that, it's a large task, a monumental task, to take a software program, download it, and say, okay, what do I do now? Again, 5-6 times through, you start to feel comfortable. Brooke, I don't know if I missed anything there, but I'm probably talking too much. So.
No, I don't think so. If you guys have any questions, we have a lot of other modules and different things that are more advanced that you guys can use. We just really scratched the surface today. So as to what I said before, download a trial, start getting your feet wet, and give us a call with any questions.
Let me show you a couple other things just real quick here. Let's go into, I'm just going to do a Roth conversion file and then a max funded file. And Brooke, we'll just go to reports and print here for this one, okay? I just want to show them the tax savings. What if you could do something like this? We're going to do the same thing we just did here, okay? Look at these three right here. Now, how many of you, right, would walk away from somebody who just has a yellow line problem at age 100 and basically they don't run out of money, but they're through their yellow line? Let's say they never wanted to go below 200,000. They did, but at age 100, they have 135,000 left. And their projected, look at this, you can do this in your notes now. The projected tax is 485. You walk away, most people, right? You're not running out of money. See you, you're good. What if you do this? Watch. What if you take this and you start a $50,000 Roth conversion? Let's say you do it for 5 years. It could be anything, right? You take the projected tax down by 200,000 and you create $500,000 left at age 100. What about that? That's the kind of stuff you can do with the software. Okay, just because they look good doesn't mean you can't make them look better or help them look better. You want to help people to better retirements. That's what we're here for. Okay, and then you have the program knows how to penalize. You can either pay a penalty, not pay a penalty to do your Roth conversion. Program's smart, but you could see the new tax numbers after the conversion. Brooke, you want to talk about the Max Fund and just the three-stepper here? We'll just go through the reports and print.
Yes, absolutely. So let's jump again to, like Steve said, the reports and print. In this one, you're going to start out, you gather the facts. The client has a red line appearing that you can see there on the left-hand side. We create balance by going in and itemizing out that budget. You'll find it makes just a tremendous difference. Even if you guys can't get a client to go through the details of their budget, if you can just get them to separate out the mortgage, huge effect, huge effect. Now in step 3, what you can see is we basically took $20,000 from a TD Ameritrade account and funneled it to the life policy, and then we redirected a contribution that they were making to a 401k. They were making a $700 a month 401k contribution. We redirected that. Let me say also, they were not receiving an employer match on that money. So we stopped that contribution, we redirected it to the life policy and deferred it for 12 years. Okay? Now it's going to kick off $22.33 a month after the 12-year accumulation, and you can see what that does to their retirement funds. So it takes them from $800,000 to up over $1.4 million. So again, amazing difference that can make. Now the cool thing too, with this type of concept, there's an area on tab 4 where you can grab the taxes and turn up the tax brackets. Okay, and so you can put that type of concept in play and then crank up the taxes and show them how there, isn't hardly an effect for them, because a lot of that money is coming from tax-free policies.
And for those of you who are gap fillers out there as advisors, you hate gaps, look what you just did here. Remember Brooke just said the 2233? Well, this is the life policy loans coming in here to pay expenses, and these guys had a gap, right, until you turned income on. Look what happens in 2031 now. Actually, it's toward the end. We'll start in 2032, though. Look what you just did. See these 2233s? These are the policy loans, okay? And look, you think a client would love you for that? You're not taking any money out of retirement funds. You're just letting them grow. And you have you don't have a gap. You have a positive cash flow. And this goes on for a while. Look, all the way down, right, till age 99 and 101. So you took care of the gap problem. Okay? All the taxes are taken care of for you in here. You want to talk RMDs? We have an RMD tracker. You don't have to put them in yourself. The program knows. You have an inherited IRA, the RMDs start right away. Program knows. Provisional income, program does a calculation for that every year. If we come here to tax, every year you get a provisional income calculation, and you can put your mouse over it and see how much Social Security becomes part of the taxing process. Okay, taxable income. You see, so it's all here. And let me say this. So we just really scratched the surface, like Brooke was saying, right? So we actually made tab 6 look better. Once you do, this is utopia here. Okay, both clients live to age 100 and nothing bad happens. All right. So once that's good, then you start firing the guns, right? So it's basically, not literally, right? But basically premature, this is 7 is utopia 6 with premature death. 8 is utopia 6 with long-term care, and 9 is utopia 6 with adverse market movement. Can the plan hold up? Guys, if you're not using software, there's still a lot of us out there that don't. You got to change, okay? You have to do this. You have to be using a software program. And if you're using a software program out there that you use 1 page of the 30-page printout, you're not getting the most out of it. I'm not going to trash or say anything negative about any software, okay? But the one thing I know about ours is you'll understand every page and every tab of this software, right? Because it's explainable. It's easy to explain, where, we actually just basically look at the death benefit needed for Mark if he actually passes away tomorrow at $777,400, okay? And so we know that if he passes away tomorrow, this is how much he needs. We know that Mary needs $965,885. See what tech can do for you? You don't have to sit there crunching in an Excel spreadsheet or an HP 12C or something like that. We do this for you so you can be yourself and present. And that's how we kind of bring value to your practice. So just want to try to get that point across there. Brooke, you want to talk 9 to know just really quickly? And we can just touch on that and then we'll be done?
Sure, yes, let's do it. So one thing we've been, again, in heavy development on is called 9 to know. This is something you'll be provided a link. You can either embed it on your website. It is a mobile-friendly application as well. If you have, let's say, a seminar or some sort of educational event and you want to send the attendees out a link, you can do it in that format as well. But this is 9 very basic questions that a client can fill out, and it's going, again, it's very basic. Okay, you can see as Steve clicks through this, but it is going to, at the end, when they click calculate, show them basically a snapshot of tab 6 and where their potential red line is. It's going to notify you as to when they're in the software, when they actually click finish and submit this to you, all sorts of notifications there. And then you'll be able to take this information. It will populate into the professional version of your software, and then you can get more detailed, with breaking out retirement accounts and different stuff like that. It is just clumped together and pretty basic for what the client's going to do, but it's giving you some good information and a really good start to building a file.
And let me just say this, right? So can you imagine, right? It takes you 5 minutes to go through and these 9 little steps that Brooke's talking about, and all of a sudden the client's presented with a 2 or 3 page report saying that, hey, you wanted to retire in 2030, and if you do that, you're out of money in 2047, so you can't. If you want to talk to an advisor about that, maybe your contact information is on the bottom of that printout. Okay, so what are we trying to do? And we're not trying to help them get themselves into trouble. We're not trying to help them do that. But if they have to make some tweaks, they should know about it, right? We're not trying to make this look, overly bad so they come to you when they're not looking bad. There could be times when they actually do have enough money, but what they haven't looked at. Let's just say that they put all their numbers in 9 pieces and they have enough money. Let's say they have $300,000 left at age 100. What we just taught you in the software, though, is what? That's good here, right? That's good here, or in this one here. It's good on tab number 6, but what haven't they looked at yet? They haven't looked at premature death, long-term care stay, or market movement. So what they'll be, basically what the response would be, where they'll come back and say, hey, you can retire in this, in this date and have enough money left till till age 100, but you should still look at premature death, facility care costs, and adverse market movement. To contact an advisor, here it is. Okay, so this here, I want you to imagine with branding would be you. Now, these have to be fixed. These are just tests now, right now. We're not ready with this yet. It doesn't even look anything like it's going to look. It's going to look beautiful when it's done. But you can go back and look at this kind of stuff, and within, say, 5 or 10 minutes, the client's going to have a general idea of what they look like, and your name is going to be up here. Your name and your phone number and your company colors will be here. And you can pass that link out to anybody. So that's the kind of solutions we have coming. All right, we got the client portal. We have multi-generational, where you're going to be able to go down from one generation to the next and pass the assets when 2 clients pass, things like that. All kinds of good stuff. Brooke and I are in heavy development continuous. And that's why those classes are so important to keep up on what's going on. I think, Brooke, the one thing I want to say is this, though. What we don't do, guys, is we don't change the software on you. So if you're using it a certain way, what you might see is a new button added here, or a new button, added, say, down here or whatever, right? So you can actually go advanced a little bit. But we're never going to take away from you what you're using, because that would be terrible, right? If the thing was ever changing, then people would have to spend all their time learning it. We add under buttons, so you can actually use it if you want to. Okay? I don't know, Brooke, anything else?
I don't think so. Like Steve said, just use us, whether it's the power line or the live training every day. We want you to know we're here to hold your hand.
What can we do? What else can we have? Marcus, you got questions? Or
I had one question. What's the RGB detail down at the bottom of tab 2?
Well, if we have a couple extra minutes, I can show you RGB. Just quickly here, I'll just show it to you really fast. Just give me 1 second here. Hang on. All right, let me just show you what RGB is. Now, if you guys are fans of the power of zero concept, what RGB is going to do, RGB is red, green, blue. What it's going to do is going to take your assets with R meaning qualified funds, R for red are qualified funds, right? The greens are non-qualified funds, 1099s and Roths, and the blue are emergency funds. And what this software program is going to help you do is get your qualified balance in line to a point where it grows up until age 70 and a half. When we divide it by 27.4, your standard deduction is never bigger than the 27,000, right? So we can use the 27,000 to take your RMDs tax-free. versus not doing that. And that's a whole different module, okay? But if you're fans of McKnight and the Power of Zero, this is going to make a lot of sense to you. And it's going to show, how much more money you can make if you do Roth conversions today. How much taxes you're going to save if you do Roth conversions today. Now, you can do the Roth conversions over 4 years, over 1 year, over 7 years, whatever you want. And it'll show you how much you're going to save in tax and how much you're going to increase in legacy value. So if I do nothing, I'm looking at 2.3, which is right here. If I do the Roth conversions, I'm looking at 3.2. And the best part about this is, watch when I put my mouse over this Kelly Green, there's a $2.3 million Roth account right there. You see at the bottom, 71% of our funds at age 100 that I'm going to pass or that I'm going to use to stay tax-free are in Roths, where if I do nothing, only 3.96% are. And that's this module right here, RGB, red, green, blue. We have it for risk, and we have it for taxation. Okay?
And I know we got a couple of new folks on. Can you just show them the marketing locker up on top?
Oh, sure, yeah. Brooke, you want to take us through that one? Mm-hmm.
Let's take a quick peek, guys. So this locker is going to be very beneficial for you. It houses all of the surrounding materials. So the left-hand training door, there's a self-study section there you can check out. I also mentioned sector sessions. That's the monthly training call we do that's got the drill down. Lots of good stuff in there that you guys can peek at. If we go back, the case study section I love as well. This has really all of the primary types of things that Steve and I face with our own clients. So we basically put them into case studies. We have a file. We have the sales process. We show you keystroke-wise what you do in the software. Very, very good recordings. It'll help you out a ton. We also have the virtual class that I mentioned. That's the one we do every quarter. The next one of those you'll find will start in January. It's a month-long training session. You get a classroom. You get all the recordings. You can see it there. Now, under the middle materials door, you'll find appointment forms. So we do have paper appointment forms if you're still going that route. That client starter pack in particular, that top left one, that is going to be so helpful for you. We send that out 2 to 3 weeks in advance. It's a list of everything the client needs to have ready to go. The other thing, all of these are compliance approved. They're in Word document format, so you guys can take them, you can brand them up, make them your own. Okay, so lots of different things in there. We also have fact packs. These are awesome. Just little one-pagers that you guys, what I would do, I have each one of them printed out, laminated, and I keep them in my briefcase. And I have a dry erase marker so I can circle certain things if you want to email them out to clients, whatever it is. And you can see it's just lots of good facts, information that you need to have on hand. There's ones on contributions, just all sorts of stuff. Take a look at those. Now, those are also compliance approved, but they're not editable unless you have PDF software. Okay. There's marketing pieces. There's an e-deck. This e-deck is excellent if you're doing a workshop or something. It's about a 30 to 45-minute presentation, depending on how quickly you deliver. But it is totally branded. There is a charge of $3.99 for this one, but you get a completely branded, really seminar, or we call it an educational deck program.
With let me just add, with notes on every slide. Okay.
Yep, and we give you, all sorts of surrounding stuff to go with that as well. So check out that e-deck. And then last but not least, on the right side, the support. We talked about Thomas Gold Talk. We talked about the live webinars every day from 10 to 11 a.m. Central, the support lines. So lots of good stuff there too. Okay.
Marcus, the only thing we don't have is the little squeaky door yet when the locker door opens, like we used to have back in 8th grade. So I'm working on getting a squeak if you have your sound turned up when you open the locker door, just to give it the effect. What do you think?
There you go. There you go. I got a question over here. Can we customize the plan with our company logo, picture of the advisor, name, website, etc.?
Yeah, there's two forms of branding. So the one branding on the report printouts, that's part of the package you guys get through IAMS. But there's also another branding where, like I said in the beginning, every header, every color, everything is your company. That's the either $15 a month or a one-time fee of $349.
I'll show you a printout here and what it looks like with the front page or whatever. Looks something like this. Now you make it as colorful as you want. I just have muted grays, but it comes out to something like this. Then you can see all the, very easy to read, with grays like this. Now you can change the colors if you want. Okay, but you can see it's a pretty nice report. This is a small report called a quick report, which you don't really give out at all, right? You're just showing different, we went through this file, different scenarios and different outcomes. Once they decide to work with you, then you can actually print this scenario out, the one with the 524,673, and you can go 30 pages if you want. That's called the full report. Okay, but all of our reports, very easy to read, understandable, 6th grade level.
Yeah, it is very, very easy to read and comprehend from a client standpoint.
Yep.
All right.
Any other questions out there at this point? I know some of you are wondering what the cost is. The cost, IMS picks up the basic cost of the software or the support. As long as you're contracted and actively writing business through IMS, we pick up the basic cost of the software. All the support. You can contact me here at the office. I'm the primary administrator here in the office. I can help you with reports. I can help you with the input of the information. You can contact Steve Brook, their team there as well. But as far as customized information or the logo, you can use, if you pay for it and you have marketing dollars in your marketing account here, we can reimburse you for that. So, I mean, really, at the end of the day, it really doesn't cost you anything, but doing business through insurance agents and marketing. Let me take a look here. We just got another question here. Do you have any of your advisors charge money for the plan to their prospects or clients?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you have to have your 65, but sure. Yeah, we have people charging $125, $150, $75 if they just, if they do the plan. If the client decides to work with you, you give them a credit on that, or if you're managing money or doing stuff like that. But yeah, you could do that. Mm-hmm. You could do that. You can. But keep in mind now, when you're putting these plans together, when you get good at it, 20, 25 minutes, you got the plan, right? You charge $100, $125 for that. I mean, that's a pretty good use of your time. Sure. Right, with the hope of you bringing that, onboarding that client, right, to work with you. So, okay. But yeah, mm-hmm. Sure.
So again, I got another question on how much the software is. Again, what we're looking for is core carriers, Athene, North American, Equitrust through our office, and currently writing business. Again, we pick up the basic cost of the software. So you have access to the software, you have access to all the marketing materials. You have access to me, you have access to Steve and Brooke and their team. And then if you want any of the customization, then that would cost you above and beyond that. But again, if you have money in your marketing account, you can use money to offset that. So any other questions from folks out there? We'd be more than happy to answer those at this point in time. Anything you guys want to add at this point before we wrap it up?
Well, you got a 14-day trial, right? Right. And obviously, IMS gives you the software also. But you know what you get with the 14-day trial? You get a full membership into this thing. So on your 14-day trial, you can come to the trainings. You can come to the power hours. Mm-hmm. We want you to get a good feel for what you get here as being part of the Retirement Analyzer community of advisors. And so we're going to do our best to give you a feel of what it's like in those 14 days. Okay? Just so you know.
Exactly. So again, I appreciate your time this morning, Stephen Brook. I appreciate everyone joining us this morning. I don't see any other questions out there. So at this point in time, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Marcus. Bye-bye.